What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being patient as we got this out and got this done. I see you guys hopping on live. I am Demita McGee. You guys, if you are watching via Facebook, you're on my personal channel. But if you are watching on YouTube, what's up? I'm a Christian women's business coach, y'all. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, and I am your wealthy minded Christian. And today we are going to be rethinking retirement with my amazing guest, I'm gonna say slash co-host, because she is so bomb, y'all. I'm so excited about this conversation that we're about to have today. All right, so we're just gonna jump right in. A few weeks ago now, she was actually we hopped on a live a few weeks ago, and we talked about very similar concept, but we're taking it a step farther today. You guys, today is going to be so incredibly valuable. So what I want you to do, I want you to tag a friend or two who needs to rethink retirement, because let me tell you why this is so important. 2 weeks ago, maybe at the most 2 weeks, my husband has worked for the post office, y'all, for 27 years. And so I was like, babe, let's look at your retirement. Let's see what's in there. I'm not going to even tell y'all the number because it was not good. Let's just say, even if you wanted to retire in the next 10 years, we wouldn't be anywhere near close to where we needed to be in order to make that happen. So gratefully and thankfully, we had already been doing some things different, but it really shined a light on that if you take a look at your retirement package right now, I want you to just do the math. Can you even retire for 2 years, 3 years? Right. What's really about to happen? So today we're going to have a serious conversation about really rethinking retirement. What's up, Jonathan? I see you. Much love to the Renfro family, team Renfro in the building. Tell my girl Tina I said what's up. So listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to introduce our guest for the hour. You guys, she is the unbanked former banker. You're like, what does that even mean? Let me tell you, I'm so grateful for this woman. She has taken so many of the concepts that have confused so many of us. In fact, when we chatted like a month ago, about 4 weeks ago, she talked to us and gave us the inside scoop for real, on what happens in the banking industry. The ways that you're looking at your banking statement, like, how did I get hit with all these fees? How do I have money in here, but it doesn't make money? Like all these things. They make all these promises to get you there, but then you get there and you realize they're not even holding my money like they said they would. So she really broke down and gave us the tea on what happens in the banking industry. And so what we're going to do today, what's up, Jean-Christophe, holding it down in Boston, boogie down Boston. What we're going to do today, you guys, is this. It looks like I might have lost her. I don't see her on the camera, but she'll be here in just a second. What we're going to do today is we're going to break down a different way that you can look at retirement. I understand and I know that we're accustomed to it taking 30 years to prepare. You know, we start preparing for retirement, a lot of us in our 20s, and we don't plan to retire until we're well into our 60s. So it's 30 plus, 40 plus years that we're looking at where it comes to physically retiring, right? And we're going to talk to you today about why does it take decades when honestly you can take well below that. All right, so we're going to introduce you to a new asset class that'll really help with that. It looks like I just lost her. She's coming back. No worries. Thank you, Jean-Christophe. I see you tagging people in the comments. That's exactly what we want. Oh, there she goes. She's back. Y'all, technology is what technology is. Y'all know. So listen, I don't want to keep her on hold any longer. I want you guys to hear from her. She is the unbanked banker. She is educated in the fields of in the industry of banking. She is all wise when it comes to these new asset classes, and she's been helping people actually create newer types of retirement packages. So imagine cutting that time down from 30 to 40 years down to 5, 6, 7. Would it be worth it? Of course it would. When her internet allows her to pop back on, we're going to add her to the stream. There she is. She kind of popped on and off a couple times. She working on it. There she is. I don't know if she can hear us just yet, y'all. She's literally in the car right now trying to make this happen. And her internet will not let her be great. But it's all good. What's up, May Moore? I see you. I see you, May. I see you. I see you. Thank you so much for tagging your friends, tagging your family. You guys, happy Thanksgiving. This is truly the holiday season, and today you're going to be thankful that you're a part of this conversation. While we're waiting on her, I want to tell you that a lot of education, I'm a big reader. And so if you are a reader, I'm going to share some things with you. This is a book we talk about a lot, The Creature from Jekyll Island. You guys, you see that right there? This book is by G. Edward Griffin. And when I tell you, you're going to get some really deep knowledge on some of the things that have enlightened us over the last, I don't know, for me, over the last year and a half is when I really started working on this. I think we got her back. Let's see if she is back. If she is back, if her internet will let her be great. Can you hear me? Hold on, you're muted. There you go. Oh, there you go.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, the weirdest thing happened. Okay, your sound went in. Well, it went out, and then when it came back in, you sounded like a robot, and I was like, Davita? So thank you for having me. Look, technology is great when it works, right?
When it works. When it
But
works.
I'm really honored to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. And what I hope that we get the most out of today is really just helping you find awareness and then potentially doing something about that. Because a lot of times I find that people, and me included in the past, we never really do anything because we're not aware even of where we are, especially when it comes to something like retirement, right? And we'll talk about what it typically looks like in employment. But I'm excited to be here. I'm a mom. My littles are 2 and 7. And it's crazy to say out loud, like, yeah, I'm an unbanked former banker, because what people don't realize is banking is something that you do, but the traditional banking system is very different than how I bank now. So I'm excited. Thanks for having me. I'm going to let you kind of guide the ship, and I'm here to fill in for whatever information we need to deliver to people today.
Thank you. Y'all, she is making this happen while she is doing running around with her family. She is so committed. I'm so grateful for you. Dr. Tom, I'm excited too. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, just make sure you drop them in the chat. And listen, first and foremost, when it comes to just banking in general, a lot of us think about the 401ks, that we have, the retirement packages that we have. And I was floored. I'm gonna start off strong, y'all. I was floored to find out from this book that what we think about the traditional form of banking, y'all, like Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve Bank that we're really familiar with. Listen, if I told y'all that it's really a family, a group of families behind that, like how would that make you feel? That there are a group of families behind that. And so there are families that are wealthy off these decisions that are impacting our government. And so capitalism is formed around central banking. A lot of people think it's just about government, y'all. It's about banking. And so when we talk about things like 401ks, I want you to think about who is it really, really helping. And so I want to start here, right? Start here. Why don't you talk to us about what the traditional 401k looks like? Now, before I let Francis take over, let me tell you how I got involved in my 401k. I started my corporate career, and you go to HR and they give you these papers and they say pick a plan. And I'm like, okay, so what do I pick? I can't coach you on that. You got to decide what you want. But the younger you are, the more aggressive you can be. The riskier, because you got time to make it up. I swear everybody has the same conversation at their job. I swear they do. And I never ever looked at the sheets. I never worried about it because I didn't even understand what I was looking at. 9 times out of 10, you are part of the 95% of people that has no clue what's happening with your 401k. You just check the box to make it easy because you didn't understand it. It was overwhelming. Check the box, signed off on your paperwork. They put it in place, and you don't even pay attention to it at all. Now, that was my experience. And I'm assuming that's 95% of the population's experience. Francis, what have you learned from the banking aspect of it when it comes to a traditional 401k? Are most people's experiences like mine?
Absolutely. And honestly, some people are at an even bigger disadvantage because they don't make a choice. So I'll give you an example. My niece is 21, and she was living with us for this last year. When she found a job here coming from New Jersey, her employer didn't give her an option. They automatically put everyone in a plan contributing 2%, and if you wanted to change it, you would physically go in there and change it. Now, to me, that's interesting, because what if I don't want one? You know? So it becomes a different conversation, because you really just, to me, take advantage of people that are not educated. And a lot of times you're just excited, one, because you got a job, right?
Yep.
Two, you're like, oh, investing. This is awesome. I'm going to have an investment account. And you don't really understand what you're signing up for. So myself, like you, Demita, that was my experience. My real career started in banking at 19, 18, turning 19.
Okay.
And what I realized was I was just excited to say I had a 401k, and I didn't really know what that even meant. And so, I feel like they get you with the fancy, hey, if you contribute this percentage, we're going to match it. And so you have this assumption, oh man, they're going to give me free money, right? Like maybe I'm the only one, but these were the things that were running through my head when I signed up for my 401k. And the truth is, most people don't know what they're signing up for. They're just excited because they got a job and they're going to have this investment account. And so what we need to realize is I give people this basic example. And Davida, you can tell me if this makes sense. We have to think about it like this. A lot of us don't know that there are fees associated with a 401k or like a 403b, depending on the industry that you work in. But I want you to think about a really basic example that we don't think about a lot because that's not where our head is at when we sign up for a 401k. But if you walked into a bank today and you asked someone, hey, I need you to help me manage some money that I want to put to the side every month, right? Would they not charge you to do that? That's not going to be a free service. And so when we think about that, that changes the perspective because now it becomes, oh, well, then there's got to be a fee coming out of my 401k because this is my money that someone else is managing. And people don't know that. So, but you also don't think about it because you don't know any better. And this is really about the awareness. People really just don't know. So that was my same exact thought process like yours. I'm excited. Yeah, let me contribute. They're going to match me even without realizing there are fees associated with this. And in a second, I'm going to break down some numbers because if we think about what it looks like to work over the course of like 30, 35 years, you don't realize how much of your 401k you're literally giving away. Not because you choose to, but because you don't know it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
that's a
good.
problem.
That's really good. And I'm about to let you break these numbers down because it wasn't until I became more educated about this topic that I started asking better questions. I didn't think to ask the questions when I was completely uneducated about the topic and didn't know. I didn't know to ask the questions. I was confused. I just checked the box and I figured I'd be in a better situation if I just checked at least one of the boxes. My situation would at least be better. At least I would have something. But I started asking myself this question. If my 401k, let's just say let's say my 401k actually paid me 2% every year. Let's say I got 2%, right? If they were able to give me 2% in my 401k, if I earned, not give me, but if I earned 2% every single year, then how much was the person who was managing these accounts? What were they earning? And if there was any way possible for me to remove that middle person, if I could understand how to do some of these things myself, what would I really earn with my retirement plan, period? It looks like we lost her for a second. We'll give her a few minutes. She'll be back, you guys. She's moving back and forth. And because she's moving, that's what the internet does.
I'm here. Sorry.
It's all good. And so I don't know if you heard one of the things that I was just sharing, Francis, because we dropped you for a second, was when I got more educated, I started to ask better questions. And y'all, I want you to think about this. It's about the quality of the questions that you ask, because when you ask better questions, you get better answers, right? And so one of the questions I asked myself was, let's just say my 401k was even able to have like a 1 to 2% gain for the year. If I had that, then the question became, well, somebody is managing this thing. What am I not getting and what are they getting? If I'm able to get 1 to 2%, what are they getting? How does this part work? So I wasn't familiar with the fees, but I knew they had to be in there somewhere because somebody has the job of managing this and maintaining it. Are they really caring about how they're maintaining it? Are they really trying to maximize what we're getting? Like, it made me start to ask even better questions. But what I really would love to do is for you to start digging into some of those numbers like right now.
Yeah. So, that's such a good question because like Demita said, and I would encourage every single person watching this live is start to learn more so that you ask more. Because our perfect example, when we started our careers, we didn't really know a lot, right? We
Nothing.
knew that we were embarking on something new. but we didn't ask the right questions because we didn't have even really the curiosity, I guess. But as you learn, your curiosity is going to skyrocket because now you
Yep.
realize, man, there's some things that I don't know. So let's talk about this, right? Yes, they're managing your money, if you will, but you got to realize that although it's an investment account, it's still a financial institution that is handling your money. And so, what they know how to do best is leverage other people's money. And your 401k is not an exception. It's actually a great contribution into their pool of growth. Because what they do is, yeah, you might only feel like, man, I'm only contributing $200 a month when it's all said and done. But from a financial institution perspective, $200 a month can easily become 10,000 when
Yeah.
maximized appropriately. But are they giving you 10,000? Absolutely not. They're giving you the bare minimum of what you're contributing and they said they would give you. But in addition to that, you don't realize you're actually at a loss because now out of that small portion, you're paying fees.
Mm.
And so we got to understand that because when they say, oh, yeah, we'll match you, you want to know why? Like, I'm going to get really raw with y'all. You want to know why they don't care to say, yeah, we'll match up to 6%, because out of the money you contributed, they've maximized probably 1,000 or more percent. So, yeah, let me go ahead and give you a little 6% of a match.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have a problem doing that either if I made 10,000% on your money. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably even give
Mm-hmm.
you 12. So
That's
we have to
huge.
realize that these numbers are real, but most people don't even bother to um really start to ask because they don't know. And so I want to encourage you on here. If you work in the space of traditional employment, doesn't matter what you do. I don't care if you sweep floors or clean the mall or sit at a desk in a corporate career and you contribute, you should know your number because that will give you an idea as to, is this even worth what I'm doing? Or if this $100 to $200 a month that doesn't seem like a big deal, but really takes $2,400 out of my family's pocket every year, can I put it to work somewhere else? Because sadly, when you're contributing to your 401k, it's not working like you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's working all right, but it's not working in your account.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's talk about what these fees look like. It doesn't matter if you're contributing 7% or 22. It's pretty outrageous too, the way, like Demita said something so powerful about when you're younger, you feel like you can take more risk and contribute a whole lot more because you got some time to
Yep.
make up for that.
Yep.
But then you think about, like, what happens when people have real life emergencies and they're not at the age where they can withdraw without lesser of a penalty, right? So are you really getting what they're promising you're getting in that 401k? The chances are no. And if you're living in today's economy, congratulations. If you're watching this live, you're alive, right? Inflation is literally devouring whatever you're thinking you're getting in that 401k.
Okay,
Literally
stop.
eating it up on a silver platter.
Stop for just a second, because somebody heard a couple of words and they were just like, I don't even understand what they're talking about. Because now, why can I say this? Because this was me. This was me. I know this for a fact. Oh my God. I used to say things like, I'm just not good with money. I don't understand it. First things first, y'all gonna have to stop that. Cancel, cancel, cancel. You are not bad with money. It is a skill set. Do you think that Warren Buffett was just born a baby brilliant with finances? No, it was something that he learned. So cancel that crap today. We're not even saying that anymore ever, because the more you say it, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, the more horrible you're going to be. I want you to change your thought process. So one, when she talks about leveraging your money, the bank leverages your money. What she means basically is that they use it to make money. That's it. When you leverage someone else's funds, capital, finances, you are using their money to create more money for yourself. That's what leveraging means. Two, inflation. So an easy way to understand inflation is this. When my parents were kids, y'all, they could buy a can of Coke for 10 cents. I buy a bottle of Coke right now at the end of the freezer, the cooler that's in the grocery store. It is $1.99. So I need $2 today to buy what they could buy for 10 cents. That's inflation. So inflation basically means that your money you're not able to buy as much with it. The value of it has diminished significantly. So you can't buy as much as you could buy before. You guys have experienced inflation in your lifetime. I think about when I was in college and I could get a gallon of gas for 99 cents. And now a gallon of gas is $4. Well, that's if you're in the Chicagoland area, like the south suburbs. You go north, it might be 5. I don't know. You downtown, it might be 5.50. I don't know. But depending upon where you live in the US, you cannot buy the same amount of money or buy the same amount of things as you could with that same dollar. That's what inflation means. I didn't want anybody to get stuck there. All right, come on, Francis, let's go. I'm ready for
No, that's good. That's really good, because and the way that I like to tell people, you already know that you're feeling inflation, but maybe you don't know how to explain it, right? Because the term sounds so fancy. But when you go to the grocery store, literally, and you're like, "What the? I normally buy this, and I pay $28. Today is 37. That's inflation, right?"
That's
But there's
good.
also, in the economy that we live in, there are certain products, services, goods that they know it doesn't matter what they cost, we're going to have to buy them. That's also part of inflation. It's called demand and pull. They know that there's a demand for something, aka gas or groceries, so our kids can eat. So they're going to pull us in the direction of paying whatever that we have to pay. So that's really good, because the former me, the 18-year-old rolling into the banking system straight out of New York City, was like, I got a lot to learn. And they still didn't teach me the right way. So there's hope. If you're on this line, I promise you can learn this. Okay.
And
So
really quick,
thank you for breaking that down, though, because you guys, I'm going to be honest, this is why money making is a team sport, because I don't realize that there's certain jargon that's been programmed in me over a decade that the average person is like, Francis, take it back. I don't know what the heck you just said. So it's so good when you have other people, though, that are really taking this world on with you to say, okay, now we can go do some things in our community because people don't know this. So I'm really proud to partner with Demita, seriously. So now let's talk about fees, okay? Because now we understand.
I'm so sorry.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm interrupting you one more time. I'm so sorry.
No,
because
you're good.
You made me think of something. So you guys, when you look at, if you Googled inflation right now, what is inflation? It's going to tell you a percentage that might be 3, 4, 5%. I don't know. It's going to tell you it goes up 3, 4, 5% every year. I want you to understand this, that when they calculate that, they take some of the lowest, the things that have not moved a whole lot, and then they give us this beautiful number that seems reasonable. But like, where did it go? Like Sophia says, yes, that almond milk. I drink almond milk, so I understand. I understand. And so you got to understand that when you add in all of these different things, so for some things, gas prices, it's ridiculous. Okay, the amount of change that you see in how much gas you can buy. My gas tank goes from it costing $35 to fill it to it costing like $55 to fill it. It's ridiculous depending upon the week or the holiday season. So what I want you to understand about inflation is it takes away your ability to be able to buy and provide for your family. It makes your paycheck less valuable because you cannot spread it as far. I love this. Bill's like that Cafe Bustelo.
You're not lying. Listen, I ain't never paid $3.99 for a brick of that in my life. I went to Target the other day, like, the audacity.
Exactly. Can I just get my coffee, please? And so I want you to understand that just like he says here, yes, it's lies. The lies are that they give you a percentage to say that inflation may be 3 or 4 or 5%. But I want you to understand those percentages are not facts. The percentages are double digits because they're not putting everything in there. Okay. So if you go and try to Google it to fact check us, the fact that you're going to get is not a truth. Just like Francis said, when you go to the grocery store and it used to cost $28, but now a couple weeks later it's 36, you do the math. That's not 3%.
Ooh,
all right.
That is so good.
All right. Go ahead, sis.
No, that's so good. And I would even encourage you, because here's the thing. Every one of our families is experiencing a different rate of inflation. Congratulations. So I encourage you, take like a journal and journal out. Okay, this week, how much did I spend on groceries, gas, whatever you spend money on to live? And then next week, do the same thing. And keep doing that every week so you can see your family's rate of inflation. Because if you're not getting a raise, you guys, you're taking pay cuts while we survive through this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was really good, man. And so let's talk about fees, right? Because now we understand, okay, it means my money is not going as far anymore. I'm still contributing to this plan through my employer. So what does this really look like over a period of time? Because let's be honest, you don't sign up for a job to think you're going to retire from that job in 5 years. That's not how employment is set up to work, right? You're signing up for like 5, 10, 15. The more realistic numbers are like 30, 35, 40 years working somewhere to actually retire.
Yep.
Or even if you go from job to job and you're rolling that over, you're not going to retire in 5 years when you sign up for the world of employment. That's not how it works. So I want to give everybody, and if you work in the world of like traditional employment, I want you to look up a company called Bright Scope, like the light is bright, scope like a telescope. Bright Scope. They do a lot of like surveys, studies on the world of employment and retirement plans. And they have a lot of really good information, just different surveys, how participants feel about the plans that they're in, how employers even feel, or how they make certain decisions. And I would encourage you, go down that hole if you work in employment so that you can start making better decisions. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say that you're working a job and you're contributing about 7%. Honestly, you guys, anywhere from like 4 to 9% is typical for what people are contributing. Nobody's really out here contributing 1% to their 401k, because when you sign up for a 401k, 1% is not really on the list. I mean, you can input 1%, but typically it pre-fills to like 6% or 7%. And so they give you that tally at the end, like, oh, this is how much is going to come out of your paycheck on a bi-weekly basis or a weekly basis. And that's typically what you go with, not understanding what you're really signing up for. So remember, right? Somebody's managing this money. Whoever's doing it through your employer, a lot of plans are held through Fidelity, a lot of different investment companies. So you got to understand, we have to pay them a fee to manage this money, to give us our small percentage of a return that we're thinking we're getting, right? So let's say you're contributing over the course of 35 to 40 years. Let's use 35 years as an example, because let's say you start really working when you're 20. Hopefully you can retire at 55. The way the economy is, you're probably not retiring at 55. I'm sorry. But let's just use that as a basic example. Maybe you started really working when you were 30, right? 65 is more like retirement age these days. So let's say you're working over the course of 35 years, contributing about 7%. That's typical. 6% was what I used to contribute because they were matching if I did 6%. So I'm like, hey, I want the free money. So ain't nothing free, by the way. If you live in the Americas like we do, nothing's free. Okay. So our salvation, right? But that even wasn't free. That was a big price to pay.
That wasn't free either at all.
So we're going to use that example because that's typical, 7%. Over the course of 35 years, right? On an account that has like an average of $100,000, that's not even everybody's real number. But for the sake of a basic example, over 35 years, after it's all said and done and you're getting ready to retire after those 35 years, if your plan had no fee, you would be at a little over $1 million. Whoa, like that's amazing, right? Shoot, give me a little over $1 million. But do you know that statistically, and you can fact check this, like this doesn't come from me, this is from actual data. A couple, right? Let's say, the McGee's, shout out to them because their whole estate and projection is insane for what they're doing. But in the traditional world, right?
Yep.
Making regular decisions, because that's where we all were.
Yep.
They would be walking away with that. But statistically, a couple can expect to live off of $30,000 to $33,000 a year if they had only 1 million to retire with.
Oh, it looks like we lost her. She's coming back, y'all. We're going to get this knowledge because this is good stuff. As soon as she comes back and she's unfrozen, we're going to get her back on here. So I see y'all are liking this so far. This is good, good stuff. There she is. There she is.
Am I back?
We lost you for a second. Go ahead. So you were saying 30, say it again, a couple would live off of 30, go.
Okay. So can you hear me okay? Somebody was trying to call me. So, okay, perfect.
I hear
So
you.
we're going to use that example. But even in the suburbs, you guys, a couple in Chicago is not going to be living off of $30,000. And then if you got kids, the way they want to eat all these snacks, like we still don't have to get this money together for the snacks. Like nobody's living off of $30,000 a year as a
Nope.
couple with children who have vehicles that need to be driven. Okay. We're not doing it, but that's just a basic example. So if you're on here, I want you to think about that. You would think that $1 million is a big deal to retire with. You guys, it's going to take at least like 2 to 3 million to like live a decent life.
Yeah. Do
Right.
you
But
know
that's
that
if
I
your plan
did? Do you
didn't
know
have
that
any
I
fees.
did,
I think you're
Lorraine?
on mute, Demita. I can't
You
hear you. Is it
can't
just
hear
me?
me? Can you guys hear me? I'm not muted. Can you guys hear me? Give me some feedback. Can you guys hear me okay? Hold on one second. Let's see. Do me a favor, drop in the comments. I know there's a bit of a delay when you're watching live. Can you guys hear me okay? Maybe we lost Francis. I thought it was me. All right, cool. Yes, we hear you. Okay, perfect. So while we're waiting on her to come back, thank you guys for your patience because she's moving back and forth. It's kind of how it works. Can you hear me okay now, Francis? They can hear me.
Yeah, for some reason it muted you out, and I was like, "Hello."
It's okay. It's okay. So really quick, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. So really quick, for Wayne and I factored in for retirement for us, real talk, it would require $3 million minimum. And you guys, that doesn't even account for inflation. So that 3 million today will not buy the same thing 20 years from now. So I don't even know what that 3 million, how much we would actually need 20 years from now. That's like today's number. We need $3 million in order to retire and live a decent, like a decent life. So that's huge. I'm sorry. Go
It
ahead, Francis.
is. No, that's really good. And so that's the example that I gave though, you guys, is if your plan, you paid no fees out of it.
Oh,
That does
wow.
not exist.
Wow.
It just
Wow.
doesn't exist. So now let's talk about if you're paying a 1% annual fee over the course of your 35 years. You guys, 1% is like the low end of what people are paying out of a 401k. It doesn't seem like a lot, but do you know that over the course of 35 years, 1% annually automatically knocks down what you walk away with out of a 401k by 28.8%? Almost 29% automatically, 1%
Wow.
over the course of a year. I mean, over 35 years annually.
Wow.
1% doesn't sound like a lot of money, but
Mm,
look at that over the course of 35 years, which is what people are doing in the world of employment, because what do? You're not going to retire in 5 years.
wow.
And that doesn't even account if you have an emergency and you took a withdrawal or whatever, right? With double the tax penalty. Like that's not even factoring anything in like that. That's crazy to lose 29% of your money
Wow.
with a 1% fee. Let's talk
And that's
about
the list.
1.5%. Yeah,
Oh,
like
wow.
that's crazy. 1.5% automatically, by the time it's all said and done, over the course of 35 years, 1.5% knocks down what you walk away with by 40%. Yeah, you
Francis,
literally walk away
really?
with like 670,000. I have the exact numbers. If I'm home and you guys want them, I'm more than happy to send them over. Here's the biggest, like, heartbreaking piece. Most people are paying about 2% annually, fee wise. If you're paying 2% out of your 401k over the course of 35 years, that 2% doesn't sound like a lot every year, right? Not a big deal. But when you're talking about a 401k plan and how it's distributed and where the money's really going and what they're doing with the money, 2% of a fee every year for 35 years automatically has you walking away with half of your retirement. 49.5% is what you're paying them in fees. Now, I
Wow.
don't know about you. That sounds like a really big scam. Not
Wow.
because I want to say like you're getting scammed in your 401k. That's not what I'm trying to say. But when you look at the raw numbers, you guys, numbers don't lie. And so when you start to realize that, you start to ask yourself questions like, man, does my money serve a better purpose somewhere else? And I'm not
Wow.
a financial advisor, but I think that it's pretty criminal to just give away 49.5% of what you're hoping to retire with.
That is so insane. I had no idea that that's how astronomical it could be in the long run. So I'm gonna totally switch gears because you have been working with some people. You guys, Francis and I are part of this amazing wealth community, and I had to have her come on here and have this conversation. You're welcome, Jean Christophe. Like, this is amazing, and this is why I wanted her to come on here and I wanted her to talk, because she is an expert when it comes to understanding this. And together, I think that because I used to get so confused, I think that it's so good to have someone with this much knowledge and then to be able to break it down into bite-sized manageable pieces. What you've been able to do is help people do something different. So what are some what's like a can you give us one good success story of how, instead of going this 30-year, 35, 40-year route, how you've been able to knock things down because of this amazing wealth community that we're in? Have you been able to knock that down and give people a better plan where we remove the middle person? They learn how to do this and they actually have a plan and they're working that plan.
So I think of two that specifically come to mind. One is a nurse that's in our group. I'm so excited. She's going to retire 2 decades early.
Let's
Like,
go.
if you guys know Milagros Roman, tag her on here. You guys,
Yeah!
I'm so excited for her. And really, all she's doing is reconsidering. She still has a traditional plan that she's been contributing to, right? I'm not here to say I'm your financial advisor, take it all out and run. Like, that's not what I'm here to do, but I just want you to start thinking about this, right? So implementing new strategies, you guys, is going to be really important. In the world of money, you have to be willing to pivot, because understand that old money habits don't open new money doors. And if you've paid attention to anything about our world right now, is there's new money. That's not a secret. You hear
Good.
about the digital asset space. And so when we say do something different, we just mean you have to be willing to start at the beginning, not really knowing, but educating yourself. Because I want you to ask yourself a question. How many people are on here that have been in a 401k plan for 10, 15 years and still don't know where the money's going? And so we got to really think about that. But one specific story that I really want to talk about is a single mom of 3 in our group, Stephanie Perez. Okay, you guys, this woman is just all around crazy. I love her excitement, and really her eagerness to learn, because she understood I can't go anywhere else and really me be the one growing my money. She works in the traditional space of employment, but she understands they're not going to pay me what a single mom like me needs to, one, have a savings, but two, really be able to consider retirement and what that looks like. So back in December, she just made a decision, you guys. A lot of this, where you're at in your life financially, just takes making a real committed decision to say, look, okay, I got to start doing something different. I don't have an astronomical amount of money. Like, we were playing with real small money, okay? Not because we don't know any better, but we come from very humble beginnings, you guys. Like, very humble beginnings. She's never really had a huge savings account. And I say this because I know she doesn't mind me sharing her personal story, you guys. So we started very small. I want to say $200, $300, $400, maybe the most. And every week she's been contributing a certain amount minimum, but then of course if she could put a little more, she would, right? And when I say put this money, we're just finding the best assets for her to really park her money that we know are experiencing growth, because she's the manager of this account, if you will, right? Nobody's managing it for her, which honestly, I feel like it's really empowering for me to look and be like, oh, that's what I just did with $12. Stop. Like, it is so empowering. And can you believe that about a month or two ago, no income claims? I'm not promising you results. You got to do the work and you have
Yep.
to get the knowledge. You
Yep.
guys, she broke 5 figures in her own account.
Yes.
And it don't make anybody emotional, because when I tell you she was making sacrifices, but you guys, a lot of you are sacrificing money out of your household and just making it work anyway. So I want to challenge you that if that's what you already do, you can make this work. And so I'm really excited for her, because it really just takes a decision and saying, listen, some weeks it was $10 to $15. We're not talking about astronomical numbers. But a lot of times I think people want to hear, oh yeah, in 30 days, someone created this amount of money, and that's not realistic. I'm here to talk to you about real numbers that if you just stick and work your plan, in 1 to 3 years, you can have a radically different retirement outlook. Radically different.
That's so good. You guys, I'm looking, look, exactly. Starbucks. Get rid of the Starbucks. Do what Sakina did. Make her own latte at home. And y'all, that hits home for me because your girl.
I was gonna say they convicted me, sis.
Oh my God. I'm just saying. This is so huge. And so I know we can't give everything because we're getting close to the hour time, and y'all, I do have to be on a Zoom at 1:00, but it's really about Sophia. Listen, you can't have that many things. She said Culver's, McDonald's, and Wendy's, $280 a month. Yeah, you about to stop that yesterday.
Oh, Sophia, listen, Sophia, I don't know who you connected to, but honey, if I show you what we can do with 280,
you letting that go today, like today. We not doing that. We are changing lives for real. Absolutely. Chai latte, honey. So it's real, and it requires a mindset shift. It requires a mindset shift. And so, real talk, you guys, I was with Francis, and we were in Houston a couple of weeks ago, and I was having a conversation literally about my husband's 401k. And we were just having a conversation. I was like, we really got to do more of this talking. We have to help people understand that we have options. A lot of us don't understand that we have options, and you cannot be afraid to get educated. You just can't. A year and a half ago, I knew none of this. None. I'm so grateful that I'm just sticking with learning. And I remember my dad telling me, Demeter, you are ahead of the game. There are people that are 70 and 80 years old who never figured this out. And I thought I was behind. I'm 44. I am not behind. I don't care if you're 50. I don't care if you're 60. It does not matter. You are not behind. It's time to get educated on how this works. And so, what are any I know we didn't get to dig into too much more. You guys, I'm going to do my best to have Frances back on here because the knowledge in this woman's brain, but it's more about what's in her heart, is absolutely incredible. It's just, I'm so grateful for you. I just love you to life. I do. You are amazing to me.
I do too, girl. Look, I felt honored when Demeter was like, sis, what you doing Friday? And I'm like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, what you need.
Let's go. Can I let the cat out of the bag because we're celebrating you today? Can I let the cat out of the bag?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Oh, my girl just got engaged yesterday. Blow up the chat.
Thank you.
Go. So excited. I'm so excited.
Thank
so real
you.
talk. They are out getting her ring resized because COVID was not great to the size of her fingers. So
keep it real. Wait, look. Listen, I was over here trying to hide, like, I didn't want to. They're gonna be like, Francis, you got that on the wrong finger. Nah, see, he asked after I ate my Thanksgiving food, so yeah, here we are.
I love you. Okay, so we are going to have Francis back, but give us some parting wisdom, some parting thoughts. I really wanted to be able to dig into. I wanted people to hear, to be able to hear how you've helped somebody succeed in this space already. I wanted to give them real deal facts. You did all of that, and so give us some closing thoughts. What do you have? Anything?
Ooh, one of my biggest ones is going to be, we have to normalize not being afraid to say that there are things we don't know. A lot of times, maybe it's shame, maybe it's embarrassment to say, maybe I'm in my late 30s, 40s, 50s. This is not even about age, y'all, because we have grandmamas killing this, okay? Like, really changing generations at their age, because you're not too late. And I want to encourage you, if you're on this live, you're right on time. Because we have to get to a place where we get aware enough to say, I don't think what I'm doing is working, not because what you're doing is not working, but because that's what you were taught and that method is no longer working. And so you have to be able to normalize saying, listen, there are some things that I don't know, But here's the key though, right? If you're going to become aware about that, now you have to insert something that's going to help with that statement, which is inserting yourself into conversations with people who do know. If you're connected to Demita, this is not to say either one of us have all the answers. Let's not get it twisted. We have mentorship, we have coaches, because every next level of you is going to require a new environment, some extra connections, people that really know what that next level looks like for you, right? So maybe you're on here and you're like, look, my level right now is I'm trying to get out of overdraft fees and at least have a savings. What does that look like? Get around somebody who's done it. And if you're connected to me in any way through Demeter or somebody else, you guys, that's the world that I come from. You cannot be embarrassed, ashamed, guilty, because if we don't get you out of that first, how can we get you to cracking 5 figures and some bigger numbers? And a lot of times you want the result, but you have to really understand what it means to start to go there. And it just really means get aware of where I am right now and say, look, there's some things I don't know. Because if I did, you'd be closer, right, to that 5-figure number, that 6-figure number. And so
Yep.
that's the first piece of wisdom. You can't come to this with shame, embarrassment, guilt. Scratch that. It literally has to be awareness and eagerness to do something different. Outside of that, another nugget would be, I know some of this conversation may sound intimidating. It's okay. Y'all, when they told me, listen, and I'm a previous banker, when they told me, yeah, Francis, I don't know why you were scared of, because the bank taught me, right, something like crypto, digital assets was foo-foo money.
Yep.
But I also have to remember they're saying that because they don't want me to take all my money out of where it's at right now. And so that was a moment for me to say, okay, you don't know what you thought you knew, but here's the bigger question. How much is it going to cost you if you don't learn what they're trying to explain? And so maybe you're on here, you feel like you're late, whatever that narrative is in your head, like Demita says, scratch that. You have to, because the real question is, how much has it cost me already not doing some of these things? And I'm sorry, you can look at the numbers. If 35 years losing 49.5% of your retirement doesn't at least put a seed in you to say, I got to at least explore if there's somewhere else I could, or something else I could be doing with my money, I don't know what number will. Like, will somebody have to tell you you're going to lose 75% of it, which the way inflation is going, I mean, that's very possible. So you just have to be willing to really ask the right questions. But the only way you can do that is you get around the conversation more. You start to take action even on the smallest level, because there's an acronym ACE, right? Action cures everything. If you're
Everything.
mad that you don't have a savings account, create a budget. Action is going to cure that, right? If you're mad that you're in an overdraft fee cycle, my heart is with you. Those are like people that I love to help because you can get out of that. Action cures everything, right? Don't swipe the card when you know you don't have it, right? Or create a plan that says, listen, I'm going to have to sacrifice up some income this month and go Uber Eats to get out of, so you just have to get to a place where you say, I'm aware, but now I'm eager to learn what's my next step. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to connect with somebody like Demita, or the person that tagged you on this live, or myself, so that we can guide you the way somebody was kind enough to guide us. Because I wouldn't have been in this position a year later if somebody didn't tell me, hey, what you think is good at the banks, let me put a seed in your ear, right? In your heart. And that changed everything for me. Even coming from banking, I did not have it figured out.
That's huge. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just love you. I'm so grateful for you. Congratulations. You know what
I
I
am
mean?
too. Thank you, sis.
Just bask in the enjoyment of just love. I just love love. So just bask in the enjoyment of Johnny just taking care of you this weekend and making you feel like the beautiful, amazing queen that you are. I'm so grateful. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Listen, and if I can be of service, I'm actually gonna drop that the chart with the numbers that I broke down in the comments
Yes,
here.
that'd
I'm
be
gonna
good.
crop it and put it in the comments so you guys can see, like, this is real, and you gotta get to knowing your numbers so that we can create some new numbers. Because when you get to decide the kind of numbers you want to create, you'll be
And
like,
it's
oh, they didn't tell
possible.
me Puerto Rican Dominicans from the Bronx could do
Hello?
this.
And this is the thing. It is so possible, but you just got to start where you are. How do we follow you on Instagram? Obviously, you can follow her on Facebook. She's on Facebook, but Instagram. Instagram.
All of my social media. Everything is gonna be the Francis Rodriguez, because who knew Rodriguez was that common? So just put a the in front of my name.
Like everybody else in the world somehow. It's like Johnson.
Yes.
All right.
But thank you. I'm so grateful.
Oh, love you. Have an amazing weekend. I know I'll be seeing you on some Zoom soon. And y'all, I'm going to get her back on here because it's just too much in our head and our hearts and our shit.
All right. Thank you guys. Have an amazing day. Bye.
Bye. All right, family. So we're going to wrap it up really quick because I do have to get on this Zoom that started 1 minute ago. I want to leave you with some things. Yes. Sophia asked me a question. She said, my question is, how can I get started? Demita, do you have the 21-day financial class still available? We will be doing the 21-day financial fast in January. And if you are interested in learning more about the wealth community that Francis and I are both a part of, I need you to just literally let me know. Shoot me a DM, just like Bill just put in the comments, DM her. And that's exactly how I'll make sure you get it. Really quick, you guys, I'm a big reader. You heard me mention this book here, The Creature from Jekyll Island. This is a good book to get. It is a thick one. Yes, it is heavy, but it is also insanely informative. If you really want to start digging into understanding how finances work, that's a great place. A great book to read. This book, oh my God, this book be getting me so on fire. It's called Fake Money, Fake Teachers, Fake Assets, How Lies Are Making the Poor and Middle Class Poorer. It's by Robert Kiyosaki. This book is actually easy to read. It's a thick book, but it's easy to read because Robert Kiyosaki writes like he speaks. And so it's not a hard to understand book. Really, really good book. Another book is called Business Secrets from the Bible, Spiritual Success Strategies for Financial Abundance. And it's written by Rabbi Daniel Lapin. I know y'all like a Rabbi, Demita. Let me tell you, the wisdom that is in this book is phenomenal. I've read this book a couple of times. We actually did a book study on it too, a book club. And so if you're on my YouTube channel watching this, I actually have a playlist of every single one of the secrets in this book. There are either 40 or 41. We went through every single secret over the course of like a 2-month time period. If you're looking at this on Facebook, you can go to my YouTube, you can grab this book, or you can just watch the videos to get some more insight and knowledge. But this book is amazing, just to get some wisdom on business, but also on money. Huge. One of the things that really stuck out to me when I read this book, where I struggled a while ago, was understanding that I had to become obsessed, like obsessively preoccupied with the needs of God's other children. And when I focused on doing that, guess what happens? More money started to flow my way. Y'all, this book, amazing. All right. One of the books that I'm currently reading, halfway through right now, is called The Psychology of Money. This is by Morgan Housel. This is one of my newer books. I will be done with this one probably in the next week or so, but this is another book that you can grab to understand the psychology of money. Timeless lessons on wealth, greed, and happiness. This is if you want to just expand your knowledge when it comes to finances. And you guys, the original, the heavy hitter of them all, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What the rich teach their kids about money that the poor and the middle class do not, by Robert Kiyosaki. This the book that started it all. This one right here. This book was written over 20 years ago. Timeless, classic, amazing knowledge. Those are just some books that I can give you to kind of start off on your financial journey and understanding how money works, but you can take some steps right now. You can also become a part of our wealth community, and so you can start doing some things immediately so you can start seeing some change. All right. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me today. I got to get off of here, hop on the Zoom. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Feel free to share this information with anyone that you know will get value from it. And that should be at least 1 to 5 other people. We all know somebody who needs to make some different decisions. And Sophia, no more damn McDonald's, Wendy's, and Culver's for you. It's about your future, not about what you want to eat today. I want you to make your hamburger at home from now on. Okay. All right, y'all. Love y'all to life. Good night, everybody. Or good afternoon, everybody. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.